Hello guys, welcome to the channel. In a few minutes we're gonna go have a look at the Crew 2 Inner Drive. A little preview, a little sneak peek in what is coming tomorrow in the game. It will not only be tomorrow, it will be spread out a little bit over the next couple of weeks. That is their new strategy, more or less. We just have to wait a couple of minutes before we can show any footage of it. Patch notes should be posted also around 6 PM, which means in about a minute or so. You should be able to find the patch notes on the official Discord, also on the website, I'm assuming, on Reddit, on the Crew Social Facebook page, more than likely as well. So you will be able to find all the patch notes there, all the big and small changes that have changed over time, or that will change in the upcoming weeks, more or less. Different channels will be posting footage, whether it was on YouTube with videos or streaming as I am doing here now. Because certain people were invited last week to do a bit of a recording to give a preview on what is happening. As I've done a video, I posted a video yesterday, in case you're wondering, on my YouTube channel, and there you will be able to find in the description all the participants with links to their YouTube or to their Twitch, whatever it is. Thanks for the follow. Meanwhile, it is 1800 hours, in other words. We can have a look at these patch notes. We're not going to go over these patch notes. You can read them. You should be able to find this at around this time. A lot of improvements, some bug fixes, some other stuff. Of course, all kind of new stuff that is coming in. What I have recorded is more or less, I think about 1 hour stream video, more or less. In one take. I also was talking over it at the moment, so I will just shut up now and have a look at the video. Off we go. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen, more specifically on my desktop. The Crew 2 Inner Drive will come in tomorrow, as I mentioned already before. March 25th, they're gonna do a maintenance. The game will be down for a couple of hours, as it usually is with these updates. When you come into the game tomorrow, you're gonna have to choose a new avatar. Discover what really drives you in the Crew 2 Inner Drive. New fully customizable rides, we have new avatars, and we have hobbies coming soon. We will go into that a little bit later. Over here we can see the 8 new avatars that you can choose from. Choose wisely, ladies and gentlemen, because whatever it you choose here, you're gonna have to stick with the rest of the time, just like it was before. They just updated these avatars a little bit. And it kind of matters, because not only will you be able to see them sitting in your car, you will also be able to see them walk around. We will come to that in a second as well. So we got 4 male figures and 4 female figures, and you have to choose one of those. Number 6 over here is the one that we have in this test build. So you will see her wandering about a little bit. You sort of have like, white male and female, a black white male and female, Hispanic, Asian looking. You have a few options here that you can choose from. Choose whatever it is that you want, but choose wisely, because you're gonna have to deal with this for the rest of the time. I had to show it here in this video a little bit, because in the test build that we could record, they gave us more or less one, and so this option was not available for us. If we go into the game itself, Yeah, that is if the game would like to let me do that. Just like before, the game doesn't like that you go on the desktop. And here we are, in game. Audi RS5, they gave us a couple of new cars and season pass cars to deal with. What has changed here is camera position. Most cameras are available. The camera from behind is more or less this one, the close by, and then you had one which was way further back. That has changed. That second camera, if I press this button again, it's sort of a little bit higher, but it is a bit zoomed in compared to before. Not that bad. Once you start driving with it and you get used to it, it is not that bad. Going into the menu, you might see some changes over here. You see your new avatar standing there next to the car that is that you are driving, and at the same time you see the crew management, and that is all stuff that you can find in the profile. We go a bit more into depth into that in a second. We have the news, still similar as it was before. You can go directly to the live battle, you can go to the Club Ubisoft, you can go directly to the contracts, the orange bus in headquarters, you can go to the summit screen, you can check through the news what is available, and all that kind of stuff. That is what you can still find in the news section. In the catalog, pretty self-explanatory. You get all the brands. If you want a certain vehicle, you go in there. You can directly go to the headquarters where you want to be, and that is where you will find all those kind of stuff. What can you find in here? Not that much at the moment, because this update is a bit different than other updates. They spread it out a little bit. In total, we are gonna get 20 new vehicles in this update, meaning starting tomorrow up towards the summer update. Throughout that whole time, we are gonna get 20 new vehicles added to the game. They spread it out a little bit, which means that every week or every 2 weeks you're going to get something new that can either be in the summit, that can also be in the new hobby things, which will come later. That can be in some sort of bundle. There are a few options in which the vehicles can get into the game. Activities, just like before, more or less the same. The only difference here is that the activities, if you go into one of these, they will now be placed in order of release. That means that in normal circumstances, if you scroll all the way till the end, you will see the last of the races that they have added. The Gates of Chinatown was the last street race that they have added. Before that, it was the middle of nowhere. So you can find those in a more order of release. That is what they have changed here. And then you have the little wheel over here. Those are your settings. Game settings, notifications, video, audio, controls, key mapping, all that kind of stuff. They have made some changes on it. Audio here, for instance, you now have a separate slider for music and a radio. So you have like some menu music or the radio, you can put them on or off separately now. So that is a little bit of a difference. All the other things that we had here, what was it, pilot and all that kind of stuff, is now all under the profile tab. There you see vehicles, you see pilot, and you see hobbies coming soon. Coming soon, that means it will not be there tomorrow. It's supposed to come in somewhere in May. What are the hobbies? The hobbies are a new feature. They are more or less themed activities. We haven't been able to test it yet, so I cannot specifically say what it is, because I don't know 100% myself, but I'm assuming it will be somewhere in the order of the award system that we had in the Crew 1, and then divided in different categories. And once you complete a category, in the Crew 1 we got license plates. In this game, more than likely we're going to get some vanity or some cars will be in there as well. So already there you're going to find some cars in that thing. But that is coming in May. The pilot, not much has changed here. We have the gallery, we have the timeline, we have the narrative, which are the cutscenes of the more or less storyline, and we have the icon points. On the icon points, if you can spend your points, you can reset your page just like before, but you can also spend them with 5 points at a time. So if you, for instance, if you want to put 25 points on pure, you do not have to press the button 25 times. You're only going to have to do it 5 times because you can spend 5 points at once with the right shift button. In my case, I play on keyboard. Whatever it is on controller or wheel, you will find the button on the bottom of your page, which you have to press to be able to do that. Then we come to the vehicles. If you press in the vehicles, you get your normal list of cars, so it's like an extra button you have to press instead of. Also, when you are in your car and you go back to the menu, you're gonna come into that pilot menu, and then you have to select vehicles to get here. Selecting vehicles, that means you can select the car, you can go into performance, your performance part, just like before. You can press F9 to go into the or whatever button it is on your wheel or controller. I play on keyboard. On keyboard it's F9 to go into the pro settings, to tune the car a little bit. Kind of important because all street race and hypercars have the new handling at this moment. So you're gonna have to fiddle around with that. You're gonna have to test those cars again because they all have the new beta 2.0 handling, more or less. Something like the Audi RS5 already had it with the Blazing Shots update, some other stuff. But also all these cars that were missing the handling now have the handling. So we're gonna have to do some tests to see, like for instance the Lamborghini Huracan was not overhauled yet. That's why suddenly the X-Bow and the Mercedes SLS were one of the better street race cars. The Huracan now also has the new handling, so we're gonna have to test that to see if the Huracan is back at being its best of the street race. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. We're gonna have to test that. You can still make a car favorite, or you can customize it. It's a new option in the vehicles menu, which means you do no longer have to go to the house to customize your car. You can change the color, you can put another livery on it, visual parts, and vanity. Talking about vanity, we have a few more options. We have the tires, just like we had before. We have the smokes, just like we have before. But as you can see, we have a few new categories there. Nitros, for instance, we have all kind of colored nitros now. So those things will be available throughout the shop, and occasionally you will be able to win some in the summit. So colored nitro we have now. Underglows, they have brought in some new. We will have a look in the shop in a second. So also that is still around. And then we have 2 more coming in. Window tints, no more messing about with stickers or liveries and trying to sort of fit it on your window so that it looks like tinted windows. We now have, for instance, the black window tint. We have the silver coated window tint. We have the Panther window tint, which sort of is a red panther claw going up and down on your screen. Not so sure if you drive in cockpit view if that is a good idea to put this one on. These are a few examples. In total, we are going to get 11 custom nitros showing up throughout this build in the next couple of weeks. 17 different horns. Also, the horns, you will be. They gave us like 10 of these things. These are sort of the standard ones. That basically means you're gonna get something like a musical note bar in a way. It's more or less the same horn, but you're gonna get it in like in do, in re, in fa, and all that kind of stuff. These are the original ones. They gave us 10. There are 17 planned, so I'm assuming the other ones would be a bit more special. Maybe something like a song or something. We will see. 6 window tints will come in, and also 23 new emotes as well. We will come to that in a second. Let's have a look in the vanity shop first. So what we are going to do is what you also have. You have this crew management thing here on the bottom of your screen. You can press the button related to that. For me, it's a B. I'm on a keyboard. I'm assuming also a controller it will be a B. If you type on that, also a familiar screen. This is your crew, your friends list, and your session list. That's where you will find it. You will find all that in the whole thing here, which is now called profile. If we go, for instance, we can go to the orange bus and then go to the right, to the shop right. Contracts, let's go to the HQ. This is a test build, might take a few seconds before we actually get in there. It will all go a bit smoother once the build is live, obviously. These intermediate screens always take a few seconds in test builds, that is how it is. What you're gonna see here is not only the bus driver, but also your avatar. That's why I say choose wisely tomorrow when you go into the game, because you're gonna have to deal with him or her the whole time. Because you can actually see them a third person view. Yeah. This is something, you're either for it or you're against it. How do you walk? With throttle, and you can steer her around. I'm not a fan of the camera position. It's a bit upset. It's like you're next to her, a bit behind her, instead of really behind her. You can also, this is just walking by using the throttle. I can also use the brake, and then she sort of comes towards you. That is also an option, if you're into that. And steering, you use to go or left or right. If you want to run, on the other hand, that's an extra button. For me, as a keyboard player, that is a right shift. So it's the same button that you use to spend your 5 points in the icon points. Not sure what button it is on controller or on wheel or so. You have to sort of figure it out. If I tap that, then she's gonna run for a little bit. If I hold that button, then she's gonna sprint the whole time. So that means, like, for a keyboard, I'm now pressing the right shift and I'm steering with my arrows. It's not very convenient. So to put it in short, it is something new, brings a bit of a novelty in the game, but I'm not a fan of it. I preferred the other camera, and unfortunately, unlike with a car or so, where you can change between different cameras, you cannot here. This third person camera is what we're gonna have to deal with, not only in headquarters, also in the house she walks around. Going to the shop, we can have a quick look on these new vanities. For instance, we have over here the nitros. The blue prismatic nitro, the Italian nitro, and purple nitro is what was available in this build here. But they're gonna give us 11 custom nitros throughout this period between this update and the summer update. They will come in rotation in the shop, or you will be able to win some in the summit, stuff like that. As it always goes, only available for crew credits, as it always was be. So also there, nothing has changed, other than the fact that we now have these nitros available. And the same goes for underglows. Have a few news here. Prismatic golden wings, disco blinking red. You will be able to see all these nitros. I've bought everything here in this test build, and we put it on the car. They gave us enough to work with, as you can see. I think we got like 5 million crew credits and 50 million spare parts. The only problem that we had in this build was they only gave us 10 million bucks, which means when it came to recalibration or so, we were very quickly through our bugs. Window tints. You already saw those on the car itself, basically on the Audi RS5 that I showed them. The black window tint, silver coated, and the Panther window tint. These things, I believe there will be 6 or 7 available throughout this couple of weeks that are coming. I think there's one in the summit as well. We will have a look on that second. And then we also have some tires and some smokes coming in, of course. Also there's a bit in rotation, a couple of new ones. And as always, only available for vanity. If we go back out with our lady here, we can go to the summit and have a look there. A new summit badge will be coming in tomorrow as well, and it will contain a total of 15 new summits. That will be from this moment on till the summer update. It is possible that at the end of this summit batch, at the end of these 15 summits, it is possible that they might repeat 1 or 2 of the older ones, just like they did before, to give people that missed certain cars a second chance. before the summer update actually comes into play. The first 4 we can see here. Scenic Tour will start tomorrow up till 1st of April. We can win 300,000 followers, a customization pack for the Porsche 911 GT3 RS, some legendary boosted parts for Alpha GP with Nitrochemist set and Pure and Frenetic on it. And also here we have Platinum Reward is a new Nitro. The Party Lights Nitro. We can have a quick look on the event itself. We have an off-road escape, which is Black Hills. We have an escape on the water, which is the Space Industries. Low altitude is the Northern Rockies. That is all for tomorrow. Aerobatics is Push It to the Limit, I believe. The street race is a Shelby, so you can use the Shelby GT500. We have the old one there, the 1967. There is another option though, we'll come to that in a second. And we have the power boat, which I think was Mississippi. Yeah, Mississippi is there. And then we have a street race that is with the Indian bike. You can use the Indian Scout or the Indian Chief Dark Horse. That is Pikes Peak Mountain. And then we have 2 longer races. The hypercar needs to be done with the Saleen S7, and that is Detroit. 11, 12, 13 minutes from Detroit to Miami. And we have an American touring car, and that is on a street race track, and that street race track is the Harley-Davidson Red Rock Run. About 8-9 minutes. So we have 2 longer races in this summit. This is the summit which should be available tomorrow on for the next week. After that, we have the first premium summit of the new batch, and more specifically the Brits, where you can win 400,000 followers, the remaining parts of our boosted set, the Union Jack tire, and we have the first special edition coming in. That's already new car number 1, I guess. The TVR Griffith Peppermint edition. This is one of 20 vehicles that will appear throughout the period that is upcoming. Next to that, we have Full Throttle, 300,000 followers, 50,000 spare parts, a Rally Raid score breaker set with Pure and Skilled on it. Boosted parts, so I'm assuming that in Downhill, which says coming soon, that's probably the next one. I'm assuming that the rest of those parts will be in that summit. A pretty important set, that Rally Raid, because they have made some off-road changes, which makes that you can still use muddy and all that kind of stuff, but they have limited cars, street race, touring car, hypercar, whatever. They have limited it if you go off-road. You can get 220 kilometers an hour out of it, and that also means that Rally Raid is going to be the new thing to use when it comes to off-road slalom or even an off-road escape. If there is not a tarmac road anywhere near, you're going to have to use Rally Raid because those things are faster now. So that also means that for a slalom, you need a score breaker with Skilled. So this boosted set over here is a very important one to get. But we will come to that in a second. In total, 15 new summits will appear all over the place. Now, let's have a quick look on what you expect. Now, as I mentioned, 20 new cars will come into game, although they will be spread out a little bit. Some will be in the summit, some will be in the hobbies, which will come in May, and some are available immediately. Not that many though. We have available tomorrow, for instance, let's have a look if I can find it here in my list. The 2020 Shelby GT500. That is available tomorrow, and it will be available, from what I make of it, in 2 different ways. You can just go to the dealers and buy this thing, more than likely for bucks. That would be my thought on it. But the thing will also be available in a new bundle that you will see appear from time to time, and it's called the Car and Vanity Bundle. Seeing it is, it's a combination of this car with a package of vanity, and seeing it is with vanity, I'm assuming that might only be for crew credits. But you can also buy the car just at the dealers. You might want to do that because it's probably gonna be, we're gonna have to test that, but it's probably gonna be better than the old one. And seeing we have to do that street race in the first summit of the new batch tomorrow, we're probably gonna have to use this thing. We're gonna have to test it to see which is the faster, this one or the older one. Cool looking car. We have some new tires on it. We have some other stuff on it. We will take a drive in the new cars in a second. Next to that, this wing available tomorrow. Next to that, you already saw it in the teaser that they dropped in last week. The Koenigsegg Jesko. No hypercar. Of course, new handling, because all street race and hypercar cars do have the new handling now. So that means that you're gonna have to do a lot of testing. And that's probably also why they more or less only dropped in 2 cars to start with now. Because you're gonna have to test all the other cars and make changes on your pro settings and all that kind of stuff. So this Koenigsegg Jesko is, I'm assuming price-wise, you can get it for bucks tomorrow on. I'm assuming this thing will be around the prices that you can find the Bugattis, 2 million, 2 million 5, something in that order. 9 gears the thing has, so if you're driving manual you're gonna have some work. Cool looking car. In all of these cars, by the way, we have good handling, decent brakes in most of them, to even super brakes in some of them. But we will drive them in a second. Next to that, there are 3 cars which they fitted in a Elite Bundle. Elite Bundle number 4 will not be available tomorrow. It will be available on April the 8th. Like I said, they have spread all the cars a little bit. So we're gonna get like every week or every 2 weeks we're gonna get something new, which makes it, which keeps it a bit more fresh, I guess. Elite Bundle number 4 will contain 3 vehicles. First one being this thing. The Lamborghini Diablo GT 1999. Also this one, pretty neat looking car. We put on some gold tires and gold nitro as well, I think, and some gold underglow. Pretty neat looking sound. Some gold poly smoke I have on there as well. And then also, I think the Italian nitro or something. This is car number 1 for that Elite Bundle. Car number 2 for the Elite Bundle, coming on April the 8th, is the Ferrari Enzo. Hypercar. The Lamborghini is in street race, by the way. This is a hypercar category. Also this, pretty good handling. Decent brakes. Not as good as the Jesko. I think Jesko has a little bit better brakes, but good enough. Drives pretty smoothly as well. And car number 3 for the Elite Bundle is a new Alpha GP that they have created under the Proto brand. In other words, it's a dev build in a way. Unlike the new Red Bulls or so, this thing does not have a halo, so you can drive it in first person view. Yeah, I'm not a fan of these underglows that stick out of the car, but yeah, I just put it on to showcase the nitro and the underglow and whatever that we had available. Prisma smoke, I think. Yep, something like that. Prismatic blue smoke or whatever it was. This car, more than likely, the best brakes in the game. That thing, you can do 450 kilometers an hour in it or so. You hit the brakes 20-30 meters further down the road, you're standing still at 0 kilometers an hour. It handles pretty good as well. It just lacks, and that seems to be a thing with all of these cars, is that they lack a little bit top speed compared to other things. But this thing handles better, I think, than most of the Alpha GPs. So it might be a contender. Although it only can reach 450, 460 if you go downhill maybe. Some of the others can do 470 or 480, so yeah, depend a bit on the track probably. But since this thing has better brakes and better handling, it probably will be one of the better Alpha GP cars. Lamborghini, Enzo and this Proto Mark 10 Elite Bundle number 4 will drop in the game at April the 8th. In total we have 20 cars and bikes as well. Touring bikes will be added to the touring car category, or to the touring car discipline. We will have touring bikes. I think the first ones they're gonna do are the BMW, the KTM 1190 I believe, and the Ducati Panigale R. Those things will come into play. Also in the upcoming weeks, whenever they decide to bring these things in. The touring bikes, more or less comparable with the circuit bikes that we had in the Crew 1. In the Crew 1 we had bikes under the performance level, and we had bikes under the circuit level. Now we have street race bikes, and now they're going to also add the touring bikes. So that is something we're gonna have to see how well they perform compared to the touring cars, seeing they play in the same category. No exact date on that. They might drop them in randomly. It might be summit rewards. We will see what they do. They might just show up in the shop one week or another. As I said, it is a bit more spread out. Next to that, we have the affixes. There were some affixes here and there, yeah, were a bit debatable. You had, for instance, the Drifty in the hovercraft. Some people had it from the beginning, then they removed it from the game, and other people could not get it anymore. It will be back. Drifty will be available as an affix on the hovercraft, and Extra Pump will be available as a affix on the drag car. So if you want to do a drag car escape or whatever, and you want some Extra Pump on there, it will be available. Extra Pump to the drag cars, Drifty back to the hovercraft. So if you recalibrate, you might run into those affixes again. Unlike now, where you have to search for them for hours and hours because they will not show up. From tomorrow on, I'm assuming they will be available to roll if you want them. That's sort of when it comes to menu changes and affix changes and the vehicles itself. A bit different this time. They did not just give us like 5 cars and you're good to go for the next 3 weeks. Or 3 months or whatever. No, it's not like this. They spread it out. Some will be in the summit. Some they will just drop in the shops. Some will drop in one of those new car and vanity bundles. Others will be in the hobbies, which will be coming on May. We have the Elite bundle, which comes on April the 8th. So it's a bit spread out over all this update. On the other hand, all street race and hypercar vehicles have the new handling, so we have a bunch of testing to do as it is, and I'm pretty sure we also have new summits, so we can keep ourselves busy for 2 weeks till the new Elite bundle drops in. Then we have those things to test. So yeah, regular base, we're gonna have some fresh things coming into the game. Let's just drive a few of these things, shall we?
We haven't been there in like forever. We should check.
We are in the Formula 1 car, so why not just start in this thing? Prismatic Nitro, I think that thing is called. I think you already got the idea. This thing sticks to the road at high speed. Take corners full throttle. This thing glues to the road. Let's hit the brakes on that car here. Best brakes in the game for sure, this car. And it handles like a peach as well, as you can see. Traffic is a bit of a problem in this build. Seeing we were only with a few of us playing here in such a way, it was TPC members, and they also asked us if we had some names to suggest. We suggested 10-12 names. They also invited those people, so yeah, we have maybe 30-40 people in this pre-recording session. And to make the world a bit more alive, I guess, they put in more traffic by the looks of it. $440. I can get like 450, 460 out of it. But yeah, it handles like a peach. The brakes are super. And I'm driving with the camera from behind. As a keyboard player, that is already usually a bit twitchy. But it works pretty good now. Also with the new camera a bit closer. Car reacts a little bit faster than it did before. But I'm definitely not a fan of this underglow. I don't have a problem with underglow as long as it stays under the car and not spread next to it for miles away. Okay, stopped way before that billboard. Super brakes, decent handling. Just lacks a little bit top speed, but I don't think it needs it to compete with the other Alpha GPs because it handles so great. Next up, available tomorrow, the Koenigsegg Jesko. What do we have on here? The blinking red underglow, black tinted windows. We have some of the wheels on there. We have the palm smoke. I think we already had that one. And we have the Italian nitro on it, I think, which means I know this is a Swedish car, but need to showcase all these things on some cars. A bit green, a bit red, a bit white, sort of Italian flag nitro, more or less. Also, this thing sticks to the ground, very much maneuverable. Decent brakes. It limits out at about 498 kilometers an hour, so on the high speed tracks the Bugattis will be a bit faster, I'm assuming. I haven't tested the Bugattis yet, because for instance these season pass cars we have in here, but the summit rewards we do not have in here. This is not a copy of our build or so. This was just a build that they gave us to us, and that also means that all the summit rewards are not available in here. So we could not test the Devo Magma, we could not test the Green Flash, although I don't think they changed anything on that because they already had the new handling. But something like the Chiron, for instance, did not have the new handling yet, as far as I know. So that will also have the new handling now, so we also need to test those. That might mean that they lose a little bit of top speed compared to before. And then actually this thing is a contender. Because we know that the Egoista, for instance, could do 507. Some of the Bugattis can do over 500, 530 even, some of them I think. And I tried the other day on the highway downhill. I was on the limiter when I hit the boost at 498 kilometers an hour, so I cannot get it over 500. Although I have the gearbox on 10, so. But this thing, yeah, sort of similar as with the Formula 1 cars. This thing has better handling, better brakes than some of the Bugattis. Let's also have a look on those cars which are coming on April the 8th in the Elite bundle. We'll start with this one, it's closest by. We already saw the Protomog 10, that's the lead bundle, and also this one, the Ferrari Enzo. I didn't put any underglow here. I think it is available. The nitro, on the other hand, for instance, surprisingly, I could only put on the purple nitro. You would think that on a Ferrari you could put the Italian nitro on it, but apparently not. It's a bit restricted in customization when it comes to vanity. But on the other hand, I could put on these blue tires though. Yeah, I think you already see it. Also this thing. Pretty good handling. Brakes are a bit less than in Jesco though. Not that they are bad, but even on the bumpy surfaces here in San Francisco, it sticks pretty good to the road. I haven't tested this to be honest, top speed wise, but I don't think it's going to go towards Jesco or Bugatti norms. We'll have a look. We have the highway here. See what we can get out of it. Buses! Get out of my way. Still have the wall clipping apparently. Always a problem this bridge. There's usually lots of traffic. Ouch. Doesn't like buses. But that's okay. We can drive a little bit further to the Cascades and then it goes downhill. Then we have a pretty good idea what this thing can do. Almost on top of the mountain. For 40 we're already doing. Not completely on the limiter yet, so I think it's sort of like the average hybrid car. 454. Not that super on, but let me check something because I think I don't have any parts on here. Oh yeah, I actually do. Let's double check something else. Oh yeah, we have the gearbox on 9. Let's put it on 10 to get the top speed from it. For 50, 460 you get for most of the hybrid cars with the gearbox on 9. With the gearbox on 10 you're probably going to get 470, 480 out of it. Bit longer gears of course. Can maneuver it around though. Just doesn't like the bumps very well. That's because I have default suspension on it. I haven't stiffened it up or anything. This was just a suspension problem. That is something that you can change in pro settings. Let's see what we can get out of it. Have another hill here to go up to first. Before we can go downhill. Cornering wise it sticks to the road though. Just need to stiffen up the suspension a bit. 30 we already started cruising. We're 40 and we're still going up. Yeah, I definitely have a suspension issue. Here we go. Here you can always test the top speed of your vehicle. Boost after this corner, you have a pretty good idea. 480, 481, something like this. That's sort of on the average of most of the hypercars you can get out of that if you put your gearbox on 10. Which leaves us with one more car on this Elite Bundle subject. The Lamborghini Diablo. Looking not that bad. Here we have the prismatic nitro again. $370 something. Also this one I have on gearbox 9, I think. Can go over 400, pretty sure. But yeah, you're cruising around at 370, 375. Also this one pretty stable. Brakes are decent enough. Oh, what was that? Burned. The off-road changes. Any street and hypercar, touring car, whatever, if you go off-road, not on the salt flat. The salt flat is not considered off-road. So it keeps going on the salt flat.
For that. You should grab it. I'm sure it's gonna come in handy.
But if you go on dirt or something, it's gonna slow down to about 200, 220 kilometers an hour. Even if you have muddy on it. Okay, you can maneuver through traffic at top speed, so at cruising speed. Pretty cool car. Yep, about 220, 215, something like that you can get out of it. Off-road. You do not want to be off-road. The only problem that I have with it is that it's a good feature because yeah, it's not the idea that you do hypercars with muddy on off-road skill tests. So the fact that they changed that is a pretty good idea. The only problem is they slightly overdone it, and that also means that if you're going to a race or an activity or a summit event or whatever, even if you go with 2 wheels into the grass or the dirt, you're gonna get slowed down. You even in a corner, you're gonna lose like 20-25 kilometers an hour or so just taking that corner with a little cut. So we might gonna have to they're gonna have to reduce it a little bit, I'm assuming, or we're gonna have to deal with that, and then we have to adjust our driving lines and stay more on the asphalt. Because yeah, as soon as you touch it, it's like slowing down. Let's go back to the Jesco, because I think I have a set on the Jesco. On this I have just a maxed out extra pump pure nitrochemist set. But I think I have on the Jesco, yeah, on the Jesco I have a muddy set, muddy completely maxed out. I have pure and 1 extra pump sitting in there. This is usually, it's a hypercar with muddy. Why do people use that? For off-road escapes. Of course, if it's a slalom, then you need a score breaker with skilled and muddy. That's a different set that you need to recalibrate then. But you don't need that anymore now. Let's get towards Salt Lake City. Still jump on rocks. Nitrochemist, pure muddy. Full throttle, boosting a little bit. 200, 205. So for off-road skills, for sure, rally rate will be the new thing to go for. Ducati Monster Bike, Porsche 959, Mercedes X-Class, Mini Counterman, something like that. We're gonna have to look for on those things. They added something else in the game, and I'm totally not a fan of it. Together with most, I would say a large majority of the testers, we do not like this at all. To make ramps and jumps a bit more viable, they decided to bring in something called air boost. That means that if you take a jump, you can boost in the air and you will gain speed. In such a way that it even sometimes exceeds the top speed that you can get on the road. I've tested it with the Lamborghini. Can get like, as you can see, I was cruising around at 375 kilometers an hour in that car. I did one of those nitro jumps and I could get way over 400 kilometers an hour in that thing. So you keep gaining speed in the air. That is a huge problem. That's going to be fun for 5 or 10 minutes in free roam for some people. But when it comes to racing, when you go to PvP or you want to get like your personal record on leaderboards in activities, or you do some summit stuff, this thing is going to interfere with all that. Instead of driving next to the ramp, they sort of wanted to give people that want to take the jumps also a chance, I guess. But yeah, this is no. I will demonstrate it here on Harlem East. Go left here, you have that jump where people drove next to it, because yeah, hanging in the air costed you some time, right? I flew past the train station. This is the most ridiculous thing that they have brought in this with this update. This needs to be reduced drastically, or it just needs to go. We were all pretty harsh about it and pretty hard about the negative feedback that we gave there. If it was up to us, this thing would have been out before it was even in. But of course, the build was made, and it's so you're gonna have to deal with this tomorrow, and it's just ridiculous. We did a little test, although we were supposed to focus on PvE. We did a little test in PvP here with a couple of us. We did some races like downtown LA East, where also is a big ramp. Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's like 4 airplanes flying next to each other, although you're driving cars. Of course, I'm driving in a hypercar now, but it will not harm. East is a street race, but it will not make any difference. Also, in the street race car, you jump next to that thing. Let's go to the other side, see how far we can fly there. Yeah, look at this. This is no. Not sure what the idea behind this was. I have also not sure. I've been reading on Reddit, on forums, on Facebook page. I don't see anybody there from the community asking for this kind of stuff. This is one of those devs' ideas that they thought was a good idea to have fun or something. I don't know. I have no idea where this idea comes from, but it's a stupid idea and it does not work. It's gonna interfere with everything in the game. The only people that will actually find this thing sort of fun is probably some kids or casuals. I don't know. Anybody who is involved in racing, whether it's in PvP or in Summit or just personal records on activities, is not gonna like this. They're looking into it because, of course, with all these changes that they have made, the off-road changes, the air boost, and some other stuff that they put in, that also means that most of these leaderboards are not viable anymore. They are gonna reset them. They are looking into it. They're not gonna reset every single leaderboard in the game, but they're gonna look into it. Which of the disciplines, like street race and hypercar for sure, touring car probably as well, which of those disciplines are most touched by this, and they're gonna one way or another clear those leaderboards at one point whenever they figure out how to do it. So of course this is something what you need to do. You have no other choice. If you bring stuff in like this, off-road changes and air boost, and you're gonna hit different times. You're gonna get slower times when it comes to off-roading. You're gonna get faster times when it comes on a track with lots of ramps. So yeah, they need to do something with that. And other than that, it is wait and see what they drop in. We know the Elite Bundle is coming April 8th. We know that touring bikes are coming. We know we have some Summit vehicles. The hobbies, themed activities will drop in May. Also there will be some cars in there. A total of 20 vehicles will be dropped into this update one way or another. And then of course the handling changed on all street and hypercar races. They all have beta handling now, which means you're gonna have to test all of your cars again, retune it, at least the ones who did not have the handling yet. Those who already did, like the SLS and X-Bow and all that kind of stuff that they overhauled with the Blazing Shots update, they have not changed anything on those cars, of course, because they already had that handling. But all your other cars, muscle cars and all that kind of stuff, should have the new handling now. The Jesco, the Enzo, the Diablo, the Mark 10, and the Shelby GT 500. Let's have a look on that. That thing is not gonna perform that well because it's raining. This thing, especially I drive on keyboard on automatic, this thing is not that great. Let's have a look. I'm probably gonna have to do even more. Camber to 0, anti-roll as stiff as it can. Aero maybe even +1. Suspension maybe a bit softer. Just go with the default suspension so that we don't have any interfering in there. And also default brake balance gives us the lowest number. Let's try that. This thing has a lot of power, and that also means that you're gonna have to be gentle with the throttle no matter what. No matter how you tune it, we have noticed it's sort of It handles pretty good in a way, but in the corners it's a bit tricky business. You already saw the wheel spin there. I just started full throttle, not even touched the nitro or anything. It's heavy, of course, so don't worry about traffic. You can push them aside. It handles pretty okay, but it's yeah, it's not fast enough compared to some other stuff. That was a handbrake, by the way, not the car's behavior. Decent brakes. But yeah, then you come out of that corner, you go on the throttle, and you saw the smoke there. That's because my wheels were spinning. This thing has too much power on the rear wheels. But for a muscle car, it handles pretty good. Cannot compare it with a Corvette or something, because those are actually good cars in street race. The ZR1 at least, because the C7 Stingray is not much worth. But the ZR1 is one of the better Americans for sure. But this thing is pretty good, but it's a bit tricky in the corner though. Especially slower corners, when you go back on the throttle, you need to be gentle on it. Otherwise you're gonna stand there wheel spinning before it actually gets grip and goes further. Might have to test it against some other muscle cars. It's not gonna beat the ZR1, but it's probably gonna beat all the Challengers and stuff. Might be sort of similar as the Camaro ZL1, I think. They remain big, heavy muscle cars, so not like you can maneuver them pretty well, but this thing is not that bad. Has good brakes. Handling is not that bad, it just, yeah, you need to be coming out of the corner. Especially like me now, driving on automatic with keyboard. Coming out of the corners, I need to play a bit with the throttle. Otherwise I have wheel spin. But still. Next to the ZR1, I think it's one of the better muscle cars though. You will be sliding a lot if you do this fast cornering with some of the others. Oh yeah, also street race. You go off-road. Stay on the road. That's the new motto for the game. Stay on the road. Unless you're in a rally raid or a monster truck or something, of course. It maneuvers pretty good, brakes are good, just need to be a little bit careful coming out of the corner. Because it has quite some power on the rear wheels. Bit damage as well from hitting some stuff, but I like it. It's not gonna beat any of those street race cars because this thing is too heavy, but when I mean is it's not gonna beat SLS or Rixbo or something like that. But compared to some other muscle cars, the ZR1 will be the better one, but all the others, it's better than the normal Stingray. It's for sure better than the normal Challenger. So if you maybe would do one of the next days a test of the muscle cars, I'm pretty sure it will be high up on the ranking. Probably somewhere just behind the ZR1. That would be my guess. The Mustang Shelby GT500. Available tomorrow in the dealers. Normally to buy, or you can buy it in the Car and Vanity bundle together with some sort of vanity. Don't have a full list of that, what is actually in that bundle. You will be able to find it in the shop tomorrow, I'm assuming. This car plus some all kind of vanity that you can get in a package, in a bundle. If you don't want that vanity, you can just buy the car in the headquarters. Prices, I have no idea. I bought this thing quickly the other day here in this build, and I was not paying attention. I think it was about 300,000-400,000, something in that order. I think it was 350,000 bucks, but I quickly bought it with crew credits, and that means that it now says owned, and I cannot recheck what the price of this thing is. You might be able to find it on some other channels if they actually have bought this car on video. Then you can see what the price is. That more or less will be it. We did a quick test on this. There is no new track or so in the summit, so don't have to worry about that for tomorrow. You can test. I've shown the summit of tomorrow's scenic tour. Normally, if everything goes right, should be the first one of the program of the new batch. 15 summits in total. We will see. I will stick to my principle of Nope Does Summit. If there is too much resets and stuff going on, I will not post it on YouTube. I will stream it on Twitch on Wednesday. Nope Does Summit number 50, I think it is, or 49 that we are gonna start with. So I will do that tomorrow, obviously, or maybe even tonight already, once the summit is available. The Shelby and the Jesco available tomorrow. The Elite bundle with the Lamborghini Diablo, the Ferrari Enzo, and the Proto Mark 10 available on April the 8th. From April 1st till April 8th, we have a premium summit where we can win the TVR Griffith Peppermint Edition. Other vehicles will show up in the summit in the new thing, which is the hobbies that will come in May. Also, there will be some cars in there. Total of 20 vehicles will come by. New vehicles, that is, in the upcoming days and weeks. That is sort of what is the thing with this update. They sort of spread it out so that we have some new and fresh things every week or every 2 weeks. And then whatever it is that they have ready, they will drop in. Also feature-wise, the hobbies come in May. There were some other things planned. Not sure when or what we're gonna get those things. And then we have the summer update, presumably somewhere in July, end of July, beginning of August, something like that. These are all part of sort of things that they drop in the game, whatever is ready. And then they are working towards update number 8, which is a big one. In such a way, it will change a bit of everything. There will be some new for everybody, even people familiar with the Crew 1. They will have new things to discover. I'm not so sure what update 8 will be price-wise, because I do not think that thing will be free. More than likely that will be the first DLC for this game. But yeah, after 2 years of getting free updates like this one, I don't think we should complain that we have to pay some DLC. In other games you have to pay DLC from start to finish. So free updates. This one also in summer will be a free update, and then maybe even update 8 will be free. Who knows? I kind of doubt it, but we will see. That will be it for this one. Any questions or so, you can ask it in the chat, because yeah, I was playing a video here that I recorded last week in the pre-recording session, but I am also live. We are indeed live. There are a few things now that I was going over this stuff. There are a few things that I have not mentioned. For instance, on the Shelby, I've noticed, watching the video together with you guys, that I do have the wide body kit on there. For those who do not know, they do interfere with the handling of the car. If you have a wide body on the car, you're gonna have better handling. That is not only for the Shelby, that is also for other cars in the game, for those who do not know that yet. What I've also not mentioned is that they came up with some sort of halfway solution for the reset cuts. They have sort of readjusted the respawn points, so whenever you use the reset, wherever you use the reset, I should say, that is more or less where they will respawn you on the road. That is sort of their way trying to come up with a solution of the reset. The only problem with that is that apparently they were only aware of half of the resets, so that means that in half of the reset that we know it might actually work, and it is a decent solution. In other resets it just works even better than before, the reset cutting. I'm not a fan of that. For me it is a halfway solution, and for me there is only one solution possible, and that is when it comes to PvP and summits, the back on track, the reset should be disabled. I'm very well aware meanwhile that the casuals is the largest group in the game, and that also means that they need it. They need it because they can't drive a car or whatever, and they make mistakes, and they genuinely need it to put the car back on the road. So okay, it needs to stay in the game, I get that. Give it to those people in activities, give it to those people in free roam, but Ivory Tower, take it out of the Summit and PvP. Summit and PvP is competitive racing, whether that is against other players or whether you are playing against a leaderboard within the Summit structure. That is competitive racing, and that is not casual racing. There should not be something like back on track or rewind or whatsoever. Disable it in the Summit and give it to the casuals in free roam. That would be the solution. But this sort of halfway solution, by readjusting the respawn points on some of the resets, on other resets they work even better than before. So also that is not a very good solution. All in all, this update, it's a bit double, I guess. If you look at it strictly on numbers, you're gonna get 2 cars tomorrow. That's purely strictly speaking. But of course, within 2 weeks we're gonna get Elite Bundle, which already will add 3 new cars. In between there will be a new Summit reward with the Peppermint edition of the TBR Griffith. The Hobbies, which is coming in May, will have several cars in that structure of themed activities, and so on till summer. In the whole structure we're gonna get 20 different vehicles. So it's a bit double that you only get 2 tomorrow, and then the rest in the upcoming weeks. On the other hand, it will refresh the game every week or every 2 weeks with something to look forward to. It's a different approach. We'll see how it works out. Of course, it also gives us the opportunity for those who are a bit low on bucks or so to grind a bit for money. You know what is coming. Yeah, maybe not in PvP VSB, but it definitely needs to go in the Summit. We were doing like the Bronx there for a while. We were not doing that event, but we were going over that track more or less. The first reset, for instance, in the city there, if you drive to the wall and reset, that doesn't work. But if you drive to the shortcut in the side street and you just drive through the checkpoint backwards more or less, then it does work. The second reset they apparently were not aware of, that still works like before. On Harlem East, if you use the reset in the alley over there, it even puts you on a better place in the middle of the road to go further. So it's like, for some it works, for some it will not work. So it's a halfway solution in my opinion. And then of course, most negative of all is that air boost. I don't know, I have been looking, I have been even scrolling back for like 2-3 months on Reddit, on the forums, on the Facebook page, on the Steam community. I have been looking like, who is asking for this, you know? So I've been looking, nobody in the community is asking for this. So whoever this idea comes from, I have no idea. One thing is sure, they need to drastically change that. It cannot be the idea that you, while you're hanging in the air, that you exceed the top speed of a vehicle. I tested the new Lamborghini GT. I think I was doing something like 380 kilometers an hour on the road. and then I used that air boosting on the ramp. I was doing 465 kilometers an hour. I had a highlight, world highlight or whatever it's called, on that build with 465 kilometers an hour in the street race Lamborghini. So that thing, they need to reduce that or make it reliable to the ventilated FX or something in that order, because whatever this is, I don't know what it is, but I want to see it go as fast as possible or changed as fast as possible. That is for sure something that we do not want to see when it comes to summits and stuff like that. It will be fun. In free roam it is fun and you can fly miles away. I think Feder even tested it on the dunes. He saw the, let's say, the off-road specialist. He has several world records in the rally rate and so on. He has tested it and he says like, yeah. He had some fun with it the first hour and then he realized, oh, but this is going to be in the rest of the game. That is sort of how it goes. Like in the beginning you think, oh, this is fun, and you fly a bit and you do like stupid stuff. Till you then realize it's also going to interfere with PvP and Summit and the rest of the game and activities and whatever. It is not great. Did they fix the Summit player skills crashing into each other? I am afraid not, because in the beginning the people were sort of ghosting when the Summit came out with the hotshots. Those first couple of summits, people were ghosting, but that has nothing to do with the fact that people were doing a skill test. That was just because the sessions were not working properly, and that's why people were ghosting. And once they fix the sessions, you can suddenly see other players. And if you're doing a skill test, yeah, I know, especially on day 1 and day 2 of the summit, it's as annoying as hell. Everybody wants to do their skill test, and yeah, the result is that you have always 8 people in your session, especially with some area which is a bit, let's say something like Los Padres or something, some area which is a bit on the outside of the map. You will always have 8 people there in your session, and you're going to crash into each other. And that is not intentionally ramming or so, that is just like, yeah, people want to do their skill test and want to get their scores going. And then some other people are in their way and then you hit each other. That is how it is. There the solution could be something like they have in Forza. In other words, as soon as you hit the starting gate, that you sort of go into ghosting mode. That could be a solution. I don't know if it is possible to do that on such a big map, of course. That is always something. They need to get it together on a big map. We are one of the benefits of this game is having such a huge map, but that also might have some disadvantages when it comes to programming stuff into it. But yeah, there is like, you know, it's a bit double, some of these fixes. I find they're bringing in some new stuff that not anybody in the community asked for, and at the same time they're not really fixing some of the stuff that was broken. That is sort of what annoys me. Also, members of TPC are, it's sort of like, yeah, we're not defending the community. I can assure you we are. Like there's reset, that kind of stuff. We are on about that for like 6 months now, I think. But either they can't fix it or they will not fix it to the benefit of the casuals or something because they need it. I don't know what it is, but it's getting a bit on my nerves. And now they come up with these halfway solutions. And then, yeah, the air boost, I have no idea where it comes from. But when it comes to vehicles or so, then this is a pretty good update, because all these vehicles are pretty sticky to the road. They have decent brakes. That Proto Alpha GP, for instance, yeah, probably the best brakes in the game for sure. So we are cool cars to drive, and they all drive good as well. Next to that, all street race and hypercars which did not have the new handling will have the new handling now. So yeah, that is already, you're probably already gonna need 2 weeks to test them all and to reset your pro settings to whatever it is that you like. And by the time you are done with that, then you have the Elite bundle coming in April 8th. So yeah, we're gonna be busy sort of every week. There will be something to do, I'm guessing. So in that way, yeah, it's kind of positive that they spread the whole thing over the upcoming months till the summer update, and then they will come up with something new. We do not have a date yet on the summer update. That will be somewhere July, August, I'm assuming. E3 is cancelled because of the coronavirus and the lockdown and everything like that. So that is cancelled. They will come up with something. I don't know if they have something for the Crew 2, but they will try to find a way to virtually spread out some teasers or something like that. So they will gonna do it with some videos on YouTube or on their channels out there on Twitter, Instagram. I don't know, wherever they are active. That is where they will post some things from new games. As far as I know, I haven't checked lately, but as far as I know, Gamescom in August in Germany has not been cancelled yet, as far as I know. So, which I'm also thinking, if that thing goes through, then more than likely they will give us a little teaser of update number 8, I'm assuming. But we will see, because lately everything is cancelled. Today, I believe even the Olympics are cancelled, so more than likely more things will be cancelled, so there might be a chance that also Gamescom will be cancelled. Then it's going to be a virtual presentation, I'm assuming. So yeah, that more or less was it for the Crew 2 Inner Drive, at least till tomorrow, and then we can get our hands and do some proper testing. I sort of decided to go not too much in depth into testing all the street race cars or some. There are other people who I know have done a few tests here and there. I just gave more or less an overview on what this update will bring tomorrow in the upcoming weeks and months as well, seeing they spread it out. Let's have a look. How about going invisible in skills? Yeah, that is still what it was, I'm assuming. We haven't, of course, we were dealing with the cars. We quickly done some summit events to have a look on what is coming tomorrow. I don't know, let's have a check. These are the patch notes. Let's quickly go over them in case I missed something. I don't think so. We have custom nitro horns and window tints. 2D emotes. I did not show them. They brought in some sort of 2D emotes. Some emoticons now that you can sort of quick chat with it. We had two categories where we had different lines that you could post on the screen, and now they added some emoticons. It also goes with the emote panel, same as before. They just added a third page in there. Also makes not much sense in my opinion, because the emoticons are in your selection, so you select one of those emoticons and then it shows up as text on your screen instead of an emoticon. So also that is a bit, it is what it is. Then we have like some numbers here, how many nitros are coming, how many horns are coming, that kind of stuff. 15 new summits. They have announced what they're going to do afterwards. Maybe they do it like they did in November as well in March. 1 or 2 extra summits that they will repeat, so that people that miss a few cars can still get their hands on. That will be the case. They fixed some stuff within the summit, meaning with loaned vehicles and such. There were some issues. They have fixed that. Few things that they have added. We saw that avatar and all that kind of stuff. The audio, music, radio split up, that kind of stuff I all covered. There is some new boot menu music, I believe. Of course, as a YouTuber / Twitcher, the first thing that I put up is radio and music, because we get rights claimed for those kind of stuff. So I have not checked that out. We have that new vehicle and vanity bundle, it is called. Like for instance, the Shelby GT tomorrow will be available to buy if you just want the car, but you can also buy it in the vehicle and vanity bundle. That will only be the first car. There will be other cars coming like that in that bundle, but also here in the patch note it does not say if it's for bucks or CC. But seeing it is including vanity, I'm assuming it will be CC only, seeing the vanity is related to the CC. Let's have a look. Recaliber affixes, we covered that. Extra pump will come to drag, and drifty will come to hovercrafts. Then we have a list of all the vehicles that we've seen: the Elite Bundle, the Shop Editions, and the Summit Rewards. Touring bikes will be added, and then more revealed on a regular basis. That is the touring cars, for instance, the Summit rewards. Some of the cars will be in hobbies. Once in the upcoming weeks, you're going to get more information about the hobbies. What it exactly is, maybe we can test it here or there for a couple of hours or so. We will see. Other than that, they fixed some stuff concerning the physics, concerning the handling. We more or less covered that. Some audio improvements, some live replay improvements, slight tweaks to the AI behavior in events. They have added, they fixed some stuff and improved some motocross checkpoints to match the new air nitro possibilities. Yeah. I can assume that there might be indeed I haven't checked that now that I think of it, but that air boosting, if you use that on a motocross track, you probably fly onto the next track or something. Now that I see they have motocross checkpoints improvement. There's a good chance there will be no more checkpoints, because you will fly over anyway with that air boosting. Yeah, I don't know. The more I think about it, that thing needs to go or drastically reduce the power of it. Google Stadia is also available for the Crew 2 now. And all the rest you can read. You can find all these patch notes that I've going over here. You can find them on all the channels. Discord, Reddit, forums, website, I'm assuming. Let's check it if they posted it already, because sometimes we are faster than they are. Although I kind of doubt it this time. The idea was the Crew Inner Drive patch notes. It is on the website, as you can see, and also this week in the summit. That scenic tour is indeed the first summit. And the bundle will contain the Ford Mustang Shelby GT500, the Saleen F7, the Indian Scout, and the Dodge Charger. So you can buy the Mustang Shelby in the Summit bundle at the moment. From tomorrow on, I'm assuming. Let's have a look. The Shelby Custom Vehicle and Vanity Bundle. For the first time, 15% off. So it gives us 15% off, but also here on the website it does not tell us if it will be in bucks or in crew credits. Seeing we get 15% off, I have a feeling it's going to be crew credits. And then some pictures as always. And the patch notes, those are the ones that I've just looked at, I'm pretty sure. We'll quickly have a look on it, on the patch notes to be sure. They sort of made a little bit of a overview here. There you can see the Mazda RX-7 Turbo that you see over here. That will already be in the hobbies. So that is a new car that we can already announce, because it's officially posted here on the website. There will be other cars in that hobby thing as well. And other than that, yeah, that's basically the same patch notes that we had earlier. Because yeah, sometimes you get these things a bit in advance, although not early enough though. I already recorded that whole video that I've just shown you guys. Thanks for the follow. I already recorded all that footage that I show you guys. And then they decided to give us the patch note a couple of hours later. And then I read that some things were spread out and that were coming on different dates. I had to redo the whole video. But yeah, that is sometimes one of those things that can happen. I'm gonna leave it at this, guys. And then we will go on from tomorrow. And we will see once we have the feature. Of course, tomorrow this thing comes in. That's gonna have to be with some maintenance. Then they patch it in. Hopefully everything goes right. You have to understand that also due to lockdown, the office does not have that many players around. Because, I mean, the devs, there are not that many in the office, because also because of lockdown, they are working from home. So it might take a little bit longer to bring in the update. We will see. As usual, maintenance, game goes down for a couple of hours. Afterwards, you will be able to play the game after you have downloaded the update obviously. That will be it from my part. I'm gonna leave it at this. There are a bunch of other people around at the moment who are streaming and doing videos, so I'll give you a chance to also have a peek there to see what those guys have. Thank you all for watching. I hope you're looking forward to the new update. It has definitely some interesting cars. Good choice of cars. I've read earlier in the chat there somewhere. I agree with that. It's a pretty good mix of cars. Some fast cars, some muscle cars. Pretty decent. Just here and there are some issues, like the air boost. That will be it. I will see you guys in the next one. That will be more than likely tomorrow. I'm a bit behind on schedule that I normally do. So I will do Nope Does Summit. I will also do Nope Shoot Something for the Division 2 at the same time, probably, because I'm already a day late with that as it is. Nope Does Summit, probably tomorrow evening somewhere. I will throw it in, and then we're gonna have a look at this scenic tour, the first summit of the new batch. I will see you guys then, and bye for now.